Hey, everybody. Thanks for taking time out of your day. We know how valuable time is. It is actually the only asset in our lives that you cannot replace once spent. So we know how important it is to spend time wisely. So thanks for taking a couple minutes to come listen to our ramblings on, why modern authentication is so important, why TraitWare has a vision to simplify and help secure your digital life. Particularly when it comes to running a business and being part of supply chain and workforce identity or OEM solutions. And I think we've got a great discussion today on why it's long past time to move off of what is termed as a shareable secret. Scattered spider, for those that don't know, it's organized crime. It doesn't matter what size business you are. If you are connected to the internet, you are on the field of play. They predominantly use social engineering and phishing attacks to attempt to obtain a shareable secret in either the primary login method, which is your password, or the secondary login method for 2FA, which is your MFA. And they are strategically using spear phishing attacks where it's very highly educated attacks on support engineers, because if a shareable secret, i.e. your password, or a legacy-based temporary knowledge factor, which ultimately is a shareable secret, is any part of the access control, meaning the actual primary login method or the recovery method, the attacker does not need to quote unquote hack in. They just need to log in if they can trick someone into resetting that or turning it over to them. So what they're doing a lot of the times is they are calling into a support center, which a lot of times can be third-party support. You can go search your own recent news of companies suing third-party support companies because they didn't do a good enough job protecting the reset process, as well as we've seen successful resetting of MFA devices because those are shareable secrets as well. So if the secret is able to be shared by the person, someone's going to trick you into sharing it.
Chris,
Yep.
Let's get technical on this.
Sure.
How does TraitWare go about getting rid of shareable secrets, and how can it prevent attacks like this from happening?
TraitWare was designed and built from the ground up to be passwordless from inception. There was no shareable secret. The idea was, how can we onboard people from enrollment all the way through their logins and all their daily uses of getting into different services without a password, without a credential that could be shared? There's nothing to be shared. And we settled on the idea of creating a token out of your mobile device, using your mobile device as your key, as your kind of your token. That's the thing that you use to get you in. You're not going to be giving your phone to some bad guy. It's not going to happen. So there's an initial onboarding process. Now that part is probably the most important part of the process, the onboarding part. And that's done with your IT team. And once you've got the credential, your phone registered, it's actually an app on your phone, then you're using that to sign into everything. So if somebody else tries to call support and get a password or get some sort of a reset, they're not gonna be able to get it, because it's really your phone that gets in to the different systems.
We really turn a device you already carry into a secure key. We register that key in more than one spot. And so that's our proprietary process, right, of authenticating the key before it can be used. We also authenticate the user to the key before the key can be used. And then we can extend other authentication factors that increase security without increasing friction for the user via other methods that are unshareable, right? The user, we keep it simple because the user doesn't have to take any extra steps other than being where they're supposed to be in GPS, or creating a very lockdown system through the browser extension. We reduce the number of password support tickets because there isn't one. And in doing that by itself, the administrators can actually do a better job because they're processing less password support tickets, that they are less likely to make mistakes when they do need identity verification better handled because passwords aren't being dealt with every day. If there is no password and a threat actor actually doesn't know that your company's entirely passwordless and they call in to try to get a password reset, the support engineer is going to immediately know that's not real because we don't reset passwords.
Like we've been talking about, the way to help prevent scatter spiders is to start moving now to passwordless credentials, to non-shareable secrets. Any steps you take now are going to help reduce your risk and get you closer there. Take as small a step as you can right now. Of course, we'd love you to go completely passwordless today, but start taking those small steps. That'll reduce your risk overall of any kind of resets or credential resets or transfers or recoveries. And then you can really bump up your policies and increase that identity proving stuff, which we know is a burden. And that's why some of these corners are being cut and why scattered spiders getting through. It's a burden on these teams. So as long as you can reduce the burden on those teams in any way, any tangible way, you're going to be able to bump up those policies and really put some efforts into identity proofing for any kind of recovery that's left over.
My 2 cents is there's a reason that, organizations like CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Agency, are highly recommending phishing resistant MFA. Quite frankly, in my opinion, phishing resistant MFA is the minimum bar to entry today. I firmly believe that for your workforce identity, you absolutely need to move this direction. There are multiple ways to get there. We would love to help you get there. If you need help getting there, we can provide knowledge on all the different ways to get there and at least reduce risk, particularly for your most important assets. Start now. Don't sit idly by and just wait. Don't think that, it's not going to happen to us. It's happening to everyone. And really the true metrics are that by 2030, they're forecasting this to be a $10 trillion industry, which is self-perpetuating, continuing to give them the funds to get better tools than you have at your job. And it's not expensive to actually implement, identity controls that make a difference. And sadly, identity controls are still the number one way that threat actors are getting in. As we said at the top of the show, they're not hacking in, they are logging in. And you can prevent that if you start now. This also can actually offset, your cyber insurance requirements, all of those things. So you definitely need to start today with phishing resistant multi-factor authentication.
See you next time on the next TraitWare Office Hours.
All right. See you guys.